What a blessing to be able to spend a few moments with you today here on this Wednesday of the holiday week. And I trust God is blessing your life. We're now doing our third installment of a look at James chapter 4. We're doing that because our folks got a booklet that is preparing all of us for a corporate prayer time we're calling the Prayer Summit on Saturday and Sunday. We're going to spend 4 hours each time. And this chapter really is a great preparation, along with other passages that are listed out in the journal that was given to our people. They're a great help for us to be ready to have the right kind of heart, to be able to pray with power in our prayer meeting. And we're going to look at several different verses, so I'm just going to go quickly over them. They start in verse 6 with humility, and they end in verse 10 with the importance of humility. And in between, you have what I call the revival preaching of the New Testament. It gets right down to core issues. We've already seen the danger of self, that's the reason for relationship problems, and how God is so grieved when we have a friendship with the world rather than truly being close to Him, and He is the love of our life. And now we look at the matter of just being clearly open with the Lord about our heart and our motives. Verse 6, but He giveth more grace. He had just said the Spirit's working in us because He's jealous of wanting a relationship with us, but He giveth more grace. He gives His power to enable us to do what we cannot naturally do. Wherefore He saith, now this is important, God resisteth the proud, but He gives grace to the humble. He gives His powerful intervention, His involvement in our lives when we're just honest before Him. We're not trying to prove anything. We're not trying to be something. This is a day in which everybody worries about their image. It's the opposite of that. We are just an honest believer wanting God to work, and He will give us grace. But oh, how He resists the proud. And I can tell you right now, someone that's focused on themselves, trying to advance themselves, wanting to be something, coming into a corporate prayer meeting, that's not going to work. Because you got to have open transparency. There's got to be genuineness there. God's going to work in hearts. Many times hearts are broken during that time because we realize how far short we come in really knowing God so that we can see great things happen through His power. And it goes on to help us with this, verse 7, submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. So instead of being self-willed, we submit ourselves to the will of God, we allow Him to be the Lord, and then we'll have the power to resist the devil and how he works through the world and know that he will flee from us. And it goes on, draw nigh to God, and He will draw nigh to you. See, this is the opposite heart from that heart that we saw at the beginning of this chapter, self-filled, wanting to advance oneself. Instead, there's this humility, there's this looking to God for His grace, submitting to God, resisting Satan and his world, and wanting to have that close relationship with the Lord. And we'll find out that He will be close to us. By the way, God is always nigh to us. The problem is we don't see Him. The blinders have to go off. And then all of a sudden we realize He's in us, He's with us, He's ready to fellowship with us. It's a wonderful thing. And then the middle part of verse 8, cleanse your hands, ye sinners, purify your hearts, ye double-minded. Be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. Wow. You talk about hard preaching, here it is. If you're going to draw nigh to God, you're going to have to cleanse your hands. I do want to encourage all of us, let's just be honest with God. If there are things we need to take care of, if there are secret sins that need to be dealt with, if there are relationship problems that need to be overcome, if we'll deal with those now, there's no end to what God will do. You see, revival is just being so filled with the life of Jesus and being in union with Him that we are willing to put aside anything in our life that is holding us back from that relationship. And so we've got to cleanse our hands. We've got to understand that sin, God will not meet with us if we have unconfessed sin. Our heart and our thinking process can't be double-minded. It's got to be purified. It's got to be single-focused on the things of God. We've got to be willing to mourn over that which we have done wrong, and then accept the forgiveness of the Lord, and to realize that it's vital that we have His will done in our lives. And then it ends, this section, humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord. That's this whole section. And I love this conclusion, and He will lift you up. He'll encourage you. He'll help you to see who you are in Christ. He will enable you to do things you can't even believe you can do. And so, friends, when you come together to pray, let God work in your heart every day. Be open with the Lord. Don't hold anything. Don't rationalize. And my friends, the blessing will be on you day by day, and especially will be there when we meet together to pray.